Hello and welcome back to another episode of STtalks. I'm Laura Demmer, your host, and today we have an exciting guest with us, Peggy Coffeen with Uplevel Dairy Podcast. STtalks and Uplevel Dairy have partnered together to celebrate some incredible dairy stories that shines a bright light on the producers in this industry, as well as those working in the back end to make sure that we are moving our product forward. Welcome to the podcast today, Peggy.
Laura, thank you so much for joining me, and so excited to give listeners a sneak peek of what to expect in this special series that we're bringing together between Uplevel Dairy Podcast and STtalks over the next 6 days. And Laura, I'm so excited that we have this special partnership to celebrate June Dairy Month and to set expectations for our listeners. What's going to happen starting on Sunday, June 9th, is you'll be able to tune in to Uplevel Dairy Podcast and STtalks over the course of 6 days, each and every day, to go on a journey with us. Laura and I have been talking with dairy producers across the country who are involved in different aspects of really producing high quality milk and bringing it right to the consumer in different ways. We've been able to also have conversations with people that are leading on the innovation side and really taking milk to an entirely new level in the dairy case and in the health and wellness space. And we also have another special guest that is the product of those products coming together to fuel her passion. And those are some of the things we're really excited to be able to share with you in the special 6-part series launching on June 9th. And so for those of you that haven't had a chance to hear STtalks and to listen to Laura Demmer, Laura, just take a moment and introduce yourself to our listeners out there.
Thank you, Peggy. Yes, I think that this is such an exciting collaboration that we're working on, and truly the stories that we're bringing out to the table on June 9th are some of the best in the industry, and I'm just looking forward to our listeners being able to learn and connect with our guests. Like Peggy said, my name is Laura Demmer, and I am a global marketing specialist with STgenetics. I work with a great group of individuals who really strive to tell the dairy story every single day to not only our customers across the globe, but as well as connecting to consumers. So this collaboration that we're doing with Uplevel and STtalks really is a core value for STgenetics. And so that's why it was so important for us to be a part of this. As for a personal side, my husband and I, we are part of a 4,000 cow dairy geno source. So truly every single day I'm living the dairy farming lifestyle. And then we have 2 sons. They also truly love dairy cows. And if you were to ask me what my favorite day would be, it would be that I was with my husband and my 2 boys on the farm, just enjoying being able to produce such a wholesome and nutritious product for our local community.
Oh, and Laura, that's such a beautiful introduction and so true to the core of who you are and why you bring so much value to the audience that we're both serving in this special series. And so fun fact, Laura and I go way back. Even though Laura lives in Iowa now, we're both Wisconsin girls, and we were Holstein princesses within a couple of years of each other at one point. Yep,
yes, we were.
I definitely was earlier, definitely older. But that's why it's so fun to connect. And what we commonly find in our dairy community is that we are all so connected with each other. I always say, they say you're 5 people away from knowing everyone in the world. And I always say in dairy, it's 0.5. And so this is one of those 0.5 connections that Laura and I get to make to do this special series, and why it was such a natural fit for both of us that are super passionate about dairy farmers and serving the dairy community, and also about the products that come out of our dairies that are making a tremendous impact on the health and wellness of our own families and of our consumers. And so we're super excited to be able to bring this conversation to you. Thanks for that introduction, Laura.
No problem. And Peggy, for the listeners on our end through STtalks, why don't you introduce yourself and just tell us more so that they can learn as well?
You bet. So I'm Peggy Coffeen, and I am the host of the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. I'm also the founder. So this is the podcast that I created almost 2 years ago now. And really, my purpose and my mission is to talk to the best in the dairy business about business management, leadership, and really not just look at the skill set that it takes to be successful in this industry, but also the mindset. And it's been such a great blessing that I've had incredible conversations with dairy owners and managers and people in the industry over the last couple of years, and to be able to really share their voice and to share their stories, to share their successes. That's my mission. And what I do is to be able to just share those stories of success and show others what's possible by doing that. And so my background is, as I said, Laura and I are both Wisconsin girls. I grew up on a little farm in southern Wisconsin, milking cows in a tie stall barn, and now live in the Green Bay area. So my husband, Kevin, and I, we have 4 kiddos, and in our spare time, we enjoy showing cattle and getting our hands dirty and our boots muddy like the rest of you. But I will tell you right now, we do not work as hard as our dairy farmers out there. And that's why I have such tremendous respect and admiration for my many friends like you, Laura, and your husband, and so many others that are listening right now for what you do every single day. And it's also why it was so important to really take the time to celebrate June Dairy Month by telling more of the stories of the good things that are going on in our industry. And as we talk about this 6-part series that's coming up, we want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what you can expect. And so, Laura, we have been recording these conversations, these 6 conversations over the last several weeks. And so just give listeners a little bit of a sneak peek right now. What are some of the stories that you are most excited to share with our listeners?
Well, Peggy, I honestly think we have 6 incredible stories, and it's maybe not even stories, just a lot of really good insight into what our industry is truly doing and is truly about. So to start it out, one of our very first episodes that will be published will be talking about how this dairy farm completely refurbished their entire farm to include a seat for the public while they are milking their cows and doing chores every day that is open. There's no scheduling tours. People are welcomed at their barn door to come in and watch them work and see where their food is coming from, which I think is such an incredible way to connect with consumers and connect with your local community. Talk about an open door policy. Like, they truly just open their door for anyone that wants to come and learn more about dairy. Another, just connecting this back to our consumers, is a dairy farm family out on the East Coast who took complete control of their milk and now is processing and marketing all of their own milk. And they're taking such great pride in the quality product that they are putting out there, and connecting to that consumer and showing their consumer that this is a delicious and nutritious product. And not only that, but they can come on the farm and purchase those products as well. So we just have a ton in store for our listeners. But Peggy, what are your thoughts? What are you excited for our listeners to hear more about?
Well, Laura, you just gave a great little sneak peek into a couple of the dairy producer stories that we're going to be featuring. And if anyone knows Uplevel Dairy, you know that producers have my heart, and that is who I spend most of my time talking with. And actually, what was fun in this series was to branch out just a little bit into another area that I personally am excited about and interested in, and also what is an incredible forward-thinking opportunity for our dairy farmers and for the dairy industry. And that is a couple of conversations about some really cool and innovative things going on in the dairy product space. And so some of the things that we'll be covering is really this mindset shift of looking at milk as the ultimate health food, right? Like, you don't have to educate us in dairy about why milk is good for us, right? Because if you ever drank milk out of the bulk tank as a kid, you already know, right? Like, that's how we have had strong bones. That's how we've built our own own bodies to be able to be strong and resilient. But really, it's just this new messaging and new information and just some really cool ways of being able to reshape the way that we talk about milk to consumers. And what you'll be hearing about is this incredible opportunity and dollars that are being spent by consumers in the health and wellness space, and some of the really exciting things that are going on for dairy to be positioned to be a winner in that marketplace. And you're going to be able to also hear about some of the strategy and partnerships that are going on to take milk and really increase the incremental growth and value of milk in the marketplace, in the dairy case, and so far beyond. And those things just get me really, really excited to share with producers, because as you're out there working on the farm every day, you're trusting that there are things being done to take your hard work and make it meaningful in the marketplace. And that's what you're going to be hearing about in a couple of these conversations in this series, are the efforts that are being done on your behalf to do that you might not even know are happening right now. And another little sneak peek I'll throw in there is one of our guests. She has my heart as well, because not only is she a dairy farmer's daughter herself, but she's a marathon runner and has a really cool story to share about how milk is part of her training process. And as I step back into marathon running this year for the first time in a long, long time, it's exciting to get to hear the insights from her as far as how she's really using milk to move her body and move her body forward. And so those are a few of the things that I'm really excited that our listeners will be able to tune into and to tap into. And really, at the end of the day, our goal, Laura, with what we're doing in this special 6-part series launching on June 9th, is to help you, our listener, get excited about what's going on in the dairy industry, and also to show our ultimate appreciation for what you are doing every day. Those producers out there, and let's not forget those on the industry side that like to tune in their trucks as they're driving around as well. And we appreciate what you're doing too. So use this as a way to get excited about dairy during June Dairy Month.
And Peggy, talking about getting excited during June Dairy Month, as we are celebrating, I know for my family, we do this, but do you and your family do anything special during June Dairy Month to truly celebrate let's call it a national holiday?
Well, so the unobligatory celebration is just eating extra ice cream. So that's happening on a regular basis. One of the things that our family has really grabbed a hold of in the past couple of years in our community is doing a little bit of outreach. And so we live just outside of Green Bay, which is a growing community, a huge growing suburbia area. I always say we live on the edge of suburbia with our little hobby farm. And so what that means is we have an opportunity to connect with people and families in our community that are very removed from farming. And you think Wisconsin's a dairy state, but anybody that lives here will tell you that connection constantly has to be made with an effort. And so over the last few years, what we would do during the summertime is we would take one of our little show calves into my son's daycare center and just bring that calf in for the day and do a little visit there. And now that the boys are done with daycare, what it's kind of morphed into is actually my husband, through his work at Nicolet National Bank, they do a day where we bring in our calf and basically put up a little tent and set the calf up for the day. And people that come into the bank are able to stop and to meet this calf and to pet it and take pictures. And my little boys are the cutest little ambassadors, and they really just take this ownership to a whole new level. I like to think that maybe it's this like dairy princess influence that came from me a little bit, but I'm going to take my little ambassadors out, and they're going to be introducing people in our community to cows directly, and following that up with handing out some ice cream.
That is fantastic. And you took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say, I feel like maybe this Dairy Princess connection really stuck with us as we continued and, got married and had children, because for our family as well, and I guess this is a little bit more background, but I myself did not grow up on a dairy farm. So, having to step out of my comfort zone and really work hard to be a part of the industry, I really strive to make that connection easier for youth, which is another core value for STgenetics, is supporting dairy youth. And dairy youth, with less and less farms every year, a lot of the kids coming to our industry are not from a dairy farm. So making that connection easier for them is something that I truly try very hard to do. So on our end, we are, the show season for county fairs is starting in July around here, some end of June. So really allowing kids that are in our county to come out and learn more about showing, which I think is a great way to get involved in the industry, is what we're doing. So just helping kids learn more about showmanship, about their animal, about nutrition, connecting them to the dairy industry, and of course, enjoying, after a hard day's work, enjoying a nice cold cup of ice cream.
So we'll both be celebrating with ice cream. That's a non-negotiable.
I would agree.
Oh, well, Laura, what a great effort that you are making. That comes from a deep place in your heart as well, to be able to connect kids that were like you and maybe didn't have that experience of growing up on the farm, but to give them every opportunity to create that connection, and not just by seeing a cow once, but by really bringing them into what it means to take care of an animal and to be part of that process of showing. And so exciting summer ahead for both of us, and exciting things in store for June Dairy Month. And so Laura, as we wrap up today, and we just invite listeners to join us both on this journey. This is the time when I would just like to invite listeners that if you aren't already following our podcast, make sure you take a moment right now to do it. And so if you aren't following Uplevel Dairy, you can go ahead and hit that follow button on Apple Podcasts. You can also follow on Spotify. And if you like to watch on YouTube, make sure you head over to YouTube and you can actually subscribe to Uplevel Dairy. You'll be able to watch or listen to the full interviews in the 6-part series launching June 9th right there. And Laura, how can listeners find and follow STtalks?
And for STtalks, you can find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and Deezer. And then just to learn more about STgenetics, you can visit our website at STgen.com. We will have write-ups on all of these podcasts coming soon after they're published as well. So if maybe you're not able to tune in, which we hope you can follow up later with an article that we'll have ready.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Laura, for giving those instructions on how to find STtalks. And once again, I'm Peggy Coffeen with the Uplevel Dairy Podcast. And Laura and I are going to wrap up today. We're excited to have you join us on the journey on June 9th for the 6-day series. And I think Laura and I got to hit the next thing on both of our agendas for June Dairy Month. We're both going to eat some ice cream, right, Laura?
That sounds great. Again, thank you for joining in. And we look forward to sharing all of these stories with you, like Peggy said, starting on Sunday, June 9th. And we hope you enjoy them as much as we enjoyed bringing them to you.